Max-Hellmuth Ostermann was a German Luftwaffe fighter ace during World War II. A flying ace. A fighter ace is a military aviator credited with shooting down 5 or more enemy aircraft during aerial combat. He is credited with 102 enemy aircraft shot down, claimed in over 300 combat missions. The majority of his victories were claimed over the Eastern Front, with 8 claims over the Western Front and 1 over Belgrade. Osterman was of such short height that wooden blocks had to be attached to his rudder pedals for him to engage in tight turning aerial combat. Osterman was born in Hamburg on the 11th of December 1917. He joined the military service of the Luftwaffe in 1937 and was trained as a pilot. After a brief period with Geschwader 1, a heavy fighter unit, he was transferred to Geschwader 54. He participated in the Battle of France and Britain before transferring east. He became the 6th fighter pilot in aviation history to achieve 100 aerial victories on the Eastern Front, for which he was awarded Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross with oak leaves and swords. He was killed in aerial combat with Soviet fighters southeast of Lake Ilmen on 9 August 1942. Early life and career. Max-Hellmuth Ostermann was born on the 11th of December 1917 in Hamburg. His father was a civil servant in the Justice Department. Osterman joined the Luftwaffe as a Fahnenjunker in March 1937 after he had received his Abitur, the final exams that pupils take at the end of the secondary education. His first assignment was with I. Gruppe's Geschwader 1, flying the Messerschmitt Bf 110, and participated in the invasion of Poland in 1939. In January 1940, Hauptmann Wolfgang Falk took command of I.ZG-1. Falk came to the opinion that the Bf 110 was just a little too big for Osterman and had him transferred to the Messerschmitt Bf 109, equipped I.Geschwader 21 on the 7th of April 1940. JG-21 at the time was based at Mönchengladbach and was subordinated to Oberstleutnant Max Eibel, the Geschwader Commodore of Geschwader 27. He claimed his first of 2 aerial victories in the Battle of France on the 20th of May 1940. Osterman had been entrusted with leading a ROT, an element of 2 aircraft, with Unteroffizier Fritz Marx as his wingman. The Schwarm, led by Oberleutnant Gunther Schultz, engaged 8 French Morant-Sal near M.S.406's fighters near Amiens, with Osterman, Marx and Schultz claiming 1 each. His second aerial victory was achieved over a Curtiss Hawk 75 on the 26th of May 1940. In a head-on firing past 2 20mm shells tore off large parts of the aircraft's tail fin, which then collided with Osterman's starboard wing. The French pilot was observed to bail out, with Osterman managing to make a safe landing. By the time JG-21 was ordered to the coastal area of the English Channel, the Gruppe was redesignated 3. Geschwader 54. Osterman's third aerial victory on the 12th of August 1940 may have been over Flight Lieutenant E.B.B. Smith of No. 610 Squadron RAF, who bailed out of his Supermarine Spitfire A9818. Smith was rescued from the Channel and hospitalized. On the 8th of October 1940, Osterman claimed his 7th aerial victory of the war and 5th of the Battle of Britain. His opponent may have been the Czech Sergeant Josef František, who was killed flying Hurricane Mk. IR 4175 from No. 303 Polish Fighter Squadron near Sutton, west of Croydon, in the southern outskirts of London that day. The reason for his fatal crash remains unclear. Apart from Ostermann's claim, Lieutenant Max Clerico and Feldwebel Fritz Oeltjens also claimed one aircraft each at the same time and in the same vicinity. On 5 September 1943, JG-54's Gruppenkommandeur commander failed to return from a mission, and Geschwader Commodore Hannes Trautloff temporarily appointed Oberleutnant Günther Schultz to lead the Gruppe. The leadership of 7 Staffel was filled by Oberleutnant Hans Eckhard Bob, who became one of Ostermann's mentors. During an escort mission on 30 September 1940, Bob and Osterman claimed one Spitfire shot down each. In return, Ostermann's wingman was shot down and made a forced landing at Bexhill. He radioed his fellow pilots, Spinach 4 melde sich ab nach Canada, Spinach 4 reports off for Canada. His aerial victory on 20 October 1940 over a No. 74 Squadron RAF Spitfire was his 6th, his 8th overall victory over Royal Air Force fighters, and his last during the Battle of Britain. The following day, 3 JG-54 was instructed to relocate. 5 months later, following a long combat pause, JG-54 was moved to the southeast to counter the pro-British coup d'etat in Belgrade, Yugoslavia. He claimed his 9th victory over a Yugoslav Royal Air Force Messerschmitt Bf 109 E3, piloted by Carlo Strebenk, who was killed on 6 April 1941 over Belgrade during the Balkans Campaign. Eastern Front. On 23 June 1941, during the opening phase of Operation Barbarossa, the German invasion of the Soviet Union, Osterman, in a free hunting mission in the Lithuanian airspace north of Kaunas, intercepted a formation of 9 Tupolev SBs and claimed 2 shot down in flames. Lieutenant Osterman survived a belly landing following combat with more SBs in southeastern Latvia on 26 June. On 5 July, he claimed 3 SB-3 Soviet bombers in combat over the Velika Yar River at Ostrov. He claimed his 19th and 20th aerial victory on 6 July in the same combat area. On the Eastern Front, he claimed JG-54's 1000th victory of the war on 1 August 1941. He became the 8th member of JG-54 to receive the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross on 4 September 1941 after 29 aerial victories. The award was presented on 10 September 1941 in Dno by General Oberst Alfred Gunner. He claimed his 50th aerial victory on 9 January 1942, the 60th on 28 January 1942 and the 70th on 19 February 1942. After this series of aerial victories, Osterman was sent on home leave. The reason for his leave was that he wanted to get married. Back home, on his way to his wedding ceremony, Osterman was arrested and put in jail. A German police officer had assumed that Osterman, with his childlike features, was actually a schoolboy who was playing a prank and illegally wearing a Luftwaffe uniform and military decorations. The consequences endured by the police officer for his bad judgment remained unknown. After he received the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross with oak leaves for 62 aerial victories on 12 March 1942, he was appointed Staffelkapitän of the 8 JG-54. His 80th and 81st aerial victory were claimed on 19 March 1942, followed by victories number 89 and 90 on 27 April 1942. Osterman claimed his 100th aerial victory on 12 May 1942. The second JG-54 pilot, Hans Philipp, was the first and sixth overall to achieve the century, though in the same engagement his Bf-109F4 was hit and damaged. Osterman himself was hit in the right arm and upper thigh. Although severely wounded, he managed to return to his home airfield. 5 days later, while in the hospital, he was awarded the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross with oak leaves with swords. The award was presented at the Führerhauptquartier Wolfslair at Rasenburg on 28 and 29 June 1942. Osterman was killed in action on 9 August 1942 far behind Soviet lines east of Lake Uman. He and his wingman Unteroffizier Heinrich Bosnin were flying at an altitude of 1,000 meters when they spotted a formation of 9 Curtiss P-40s. Osterman shot down the rear P-40. The two were reforming to make a second attack when they themselves were attacked from behind by a group of Soviet fighters emerging from the broken cloud cover. Osterman's Bf-109G2 was hit in the cockpit by 41 IAP Starship Lieutenant Arkady Sukhov flying a Lag-3. The aircraft rolled over and crashed into the edge of a small wood. After Werner Mulders and Leopold Steinbatz, Osterman was the third of 45 recipients of the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross with oak leaves and swords to die in World War II. This made him the first living swords recipient to be lost in actual air combat, as Mulders' death was accidental and Steinbatz had only received the oak leaves before he died. Awards. Wound Badge in black. Front flying clasp of the Luftwaffe in gold with pennant. 300. Combined Pilot's Observation Badge. Iron Cross 2nd Class 1st Class 10th Swords on 17 May 1942 as Oberleutnant and Staffelkapitän of the 7 Jagdgeschwader 54. Mentioned 4 times in the Wehrmacht Bericht.